The Forbes Top 100 Richest Men makes a point of not including rulers and dictators, because if it did, the list would look a lot different. When we think about the richest men in the world, many names spring to mind, such as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, etc. But in reality, some billionaires have their fortune hidden away from the general public. Some of them are in fact secret Latin American drug lords, or members from a royal family in a Middle East country rich in oil, or even a top Russian weapons dealer, or as is the case with this video, a spy. According to many, such as Bill Browder, the CEO of Hermitage Capital Management, an investment fund specialized in Russian markets, the current president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, might just be the richest man in the world. He estimated his fortune to be upwards of $200 billion in 2018, which in respect to the official richest man in the world at the time, Jeff Bezos, with a fortune back then of $112 billion, made the Russian almost twice as rich as him. But how can it be that a former KGB agent became so wealthy? Well, sure, it isn't due to his salary of roughly $137,000 annually, or his previous role as a prime minister. Well, the simple answer to this question is better explained by Sergei Pugachev, he who once heard the nickname Putin's banker, who said in an interview in 2018, "Everything that belongs to the territory of the Russian Federation, Putin considers to be his. Any attempt to calculate Putin's net worth won't succeed. He's the richest person in the world until he leaves power." What does this mean? It means that although he doesn't personally own assets worth $200 billion, he controls them, and he can use them as if they were his own. For example, as the famous 2012 report made by a group of Russian dissidents and sarcastically titled "The Life of a Galley Slave" stated, Putin might not technically own these 43 aircrafts, but as the sole political power in Russia, he can act like there is. The Russian leader also ordered the renovation of the Constantin Palace, an architectural monument of the 18th century located less than 20 kilometers away from the center of St. Petersburg, made to overshadow the famous Palace of Versailles in scale and beauty. This massive complex with an area of 800 kilometers squared includes a marina, a water mill, a pond, a greenhouse, and a small house church, and after going through costly renovations of millions of dollars, it now is equipped with high technology in all its rooms and 20 cottages. The what is now known as Putin's Palace is estimated to be worth $1.4 billion. Just to put that into perspective, that's more than the entire state-of-the-art airport, Zhou Changi Airport in Singapore, about the same as the Buckingham Palace, or almost as valuable as the Burj Khalifa. Around 1,500 people worked at the construction site, including soldiers and the reported 40 gardeners employed all year round just to maintain the prestigious look of the garden. The workers stated that there is even an ice palace underneath the ground, reaching the height of a 5-story building. There's also 3 helipads, which one of them was deconstructed to give place to a hockey rink underneath it, an 80-meter bridge, a special tunnel inside the mountain with a tasting room, and even a gas station to supply fuel to all the vehicles using the property. This honestly seems like a self-sustained micro-country ready for an apocalypse. With so much area, industrial fuel tanks, and even a vineyard, the property was made to sustain Putin till his death. If like me you don't really believe that this building is real, just look at these leaked pictures. The Italian architect Lanfranco Cirillo even had the freedom to order the construction of a whole casino, a music lounge, a theater, a cinema, a wine cellar, and in the exterior there's even a Roman-like amphitheater for Putin to host whichever artists he wants for his birthday. Add to the palace the Putin's official residence in 2012 named Novo-Ogaryevo, plus a government-leased apartment in Moscow, his summer residences in the Black Sea and in the Baltic Sea, and his lake house in Novgorod Region, and you start to see he has much more than he claims. Fun fact, the lake house residence was initially planned as one of Stalin's country houses, but he thought it too dangerous. The residence was the only building in a small peninsula and was surrounded by dense forest, with only one escape route to the mainland. Now back to the main topic. Another source of his personal wealth is via successive ownership of stakes in a number of Russian companies. Back in 2007, he already had control of 37% of oil company I'm not gonna even try to pronounce his name. He also had 4.5% of natural gas company Gazprom and a 50% stake of Gunvor. All these companies can be said to be one of the leaders in their respective sectors, and with their collective revenue amounting to $183 billion annually and their assets surpassing the $500 billion value, it starts to get much clearer now how Putin's net worth can be so high. When taking into account that after 18 years in power, not much capital has been invested into schools, roads and hospitals, but instead in property, banks, Swiss bank accounts, shares, hedge funds, etc., one can only imagine the fortune that has been accumulated throughout this period. But in 2016, we got a chance to take a look into it, when the Panama Papers were released and multiple offshore accounts were linked directly to Putin. Previously, the man himself stated that his net worth didn't go over the $200,000 mark, but in these papers, the world got to see a slim section of the truth. Vladimir actually possessed $2 billion in cash in these accounts, and these were the ones actually found. Now imagine the amount that is still hidden. The current president of Russia has been seen with immensely expensive watches, collectively valued at $700,000, and has been known to offer wristwatches valued at thousands of dollars as gifts to peasants and factory workers. Under his possession, you can also find a 77 square meter apartment, an 18 square meter garage, 2 vintage Russian cars, a Lada Niva SUV and a trailer, which all seem quite modest in comparison to the goods mentioned previously, but this is just his official belongings. The president denies that the palace is his, or from anyone in his family, but the truth is that leaked documents show that it is in fact his, and made specifically for him. It just wasn't paid with his money. It is said that the palace was actually paid by Russian billionaires, which benefited from Putin's regulations and law-bending costumes in a corrupt system that benefited Russia's top companies at the expense of the equality and fairness to the people. All these expenses, investments and assets can sound too good to be true, especially for a man with its relative low salary, but we gotta understand that Russia's currency reserves are his, Russia's military is his, even the asphalt that paves Russia's roads is his. Money can give Bill Gates power, but Putin already has the power, he doesn't need the money. Can you imagine being at the helm of the biggest country on earth? With an area of 17 million kilometers square, Mother Russia is the world's 11th largest economy by GDP. It is a recognized nuclear weapons state, possessing the world's largest stockpile of nuclear weapons, with the world's second most powerful military, and the fourth highest military expenditure. Russia's extensive mineral and energy resources are the world's largest, and it is one of the leading producers of oil and natural gas globally. Adding to this, its military alliance with Belarus, Armenia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, and economic alliance with other countries mentioned previously, this brings to Putin a partial control of a single market of 180 million people with a gross domestic product of over $5 trillion. And as we've seen recently with Ukraine, no one can stop this man. He will be the world's richest and most powerful man until he leaves power. Hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and thanks for watching. Obrigado.